Jeff, since this is our first time talking to you, maybe you could just introduce us to your philosophy and, what style of defense you anticipate playing other than the obvious that we all know it's going to be a 4-3. Maybe just a little more detail in some of your philosophies.
Yeah, it's going to be based upon principle. It's going to be based upon technique. It's going to be based upon effort and toughness and really the essence of this game. We're preaching this to the players now that it's going to be about them and it's not going to be about us. We're not going to give them magical calls to get them out of things. They're just going to understand these defenses at the highest level and understand the techniques within the defenses at the highest level. And that's going to be the secret sauce. Simplicity, though, and players first.
Jeff, later on in practice, it seemed the defense really turned up the heat on the offense. What kind of went into that?
It's a defense that, like I said, it's very simple. Not to be mistaken with easy by any means, because there's lots of detail within it. And you'll find early in the development that we're going to have rough days because, they're going to pick on us. They're going to know that we're in 6, we're in 3, whatever the case may be, because we don't try to disguise or hide it much. And we're going to get hit. But we learn through the burn. And this being the second day of red zone for our guys, it's like they started to recognize pre-snap indicators, started to recognize the stem of the wide receivers, started to recognize some things, then understand how they're being attacked and go beyond the playbook where it just says curl. Now it's curl with attack by 2 or whatever the case may be. And they're starting to feel that a little bit about the nuances and the finer details make the difference in this defense.
Jeff, CJ Mosley really hasn't played too much over the last 2 years with the opt-out and then the groin injury he had in 19. Have you seen any rust at all? I mean, it looked like he had a pretty good day today.
Not at all. I'm so excited about CJ and what he brings to this defense and what he brings to this team. He is one of those authentic alpha leaders, just knows how to run the defense. He's the field general. He's the old school Mike that you look to, and very, very excited about what he can do within this defense. And excited for him, just personally getting back on the field because I know this game is very, very important to him and getting back to some normalcy for him.
Jeff, how did you and Robert click when you were going through that process and he ended up hiring you to run the defense? What was that like? How did you guys mesh and just what were your conversations like between each other?
Yeah, me and him have always had a long-standing relationship. We worked with each other back in 2011, 2010 or 11 in Seattle. And ever since then, we've kept in constant contact, always shooting ideas back and forth to each other. And I'm really excited now to see kind of where he's taken this defense and where he's evolved it. And I think a big part of it was the fact that I was going to come here and we had a similar belief system in that this is going to be about technique. Like I said, it was going to be about simplicity. It was going to be, and then at the same time, like I wasn't going to get in the way of running the stuff that they had in San Francisco, I'll add some wrinkles, but the foundation of this is what he grew it into in San Francisco.
How do you see your safety situation? We all know about Marcus, has obviously established himself in the league. He's always been more of a free safety, although he did a little more in the box last year. How do you see him in this defense?
He can do it all. Like I would feel comfortable with him in any capacity. So he's a guy that, to me, can play deep. He can play the half field. He can play the middle third. He can do that. You feel comfortable with him. I think he's got range and speed and athleticism. I think he's got ball skills and instinct to be a deep safety. But I think he's got enough size and girth and want to and courage to play in the box. So he'll be a guy that'll be it'll be fun being able to utilize all the things that he does. He can cover tight ends. He can cover some of the wide receivers in this league. Never met him, but just talking to people within this building and just speaking on the man he is, I'm excited to get him in the building. Excited about Ashton. I was excited about him when he came out of Cal. Really like the athlete, the speed, all that he brings in that way. And he's been, although not on the field, he's been amazing in the classroom as far as asking questions and being engaged and diving deep. LaMarcus Joyner is a guy that, you didn't know because he's kind of vacillated between nickel and safety, and he's kind of hopped around, and we're kind of putting him back in his home now at the safety position. And he has been I've always known the player, but I didn't know the guy, and the guy has just been amazing for the room. Just the leadership, he's a guy you got to protect in OTAs like this because he does not know how to not go 100%. So he's providing a fantastic example for our young guys. So it's a group that we're excited about.
Yeah, focusing a little bit on the cornerback group, there's been some questions about it. So as a defensive coordinator, what goes into, helping develop them and, putting them in the best positions to succeed?
I think just putting them on repeat, and not doing a lot. I think that will benefit them because they're all young and they're all inexperienced, but they're all very willing and they're workers and being able to just keep doing the same thing over and over and over again, whether it's the line of scrimmage stuff, whether it's the book technique, whether it's the catch, all the different techniques that we ask them to do, they're going to get to do these things over and over again. We're not going to be saying, okay, you're going to play 2-man and jump the trail now. You're not going to be playing lead position. It's going to be just a few techniques. They're going to put them on repeat. They're going to master them. And that's the fastest way, in my opinion, to accelerate a young guy, because we have a bunch of young guys, but very inexperienced, but very willing to work. So excited about what we can find in that room.
Jeff, can you talk a little bit about you as a former player and what kind of advantage that gives you in kind of understanding the guys you coach and, it's maybe an advantage to somebody who hasn't been there and done that before at your level?
I think at times it can help me relate with the player, and connect with the player, and the fact that I've been in their shoes and sat in the chair and know what it feels like. And so it can give me perspective in that way. Hopefully it gives me a little street cred, the fact that I've done it and played for a while, that, that there's a level of trust there maybe that a former player can generate. Beyond that, other than the headaches that I have, not much of an advantage though.
Now, just as a follow, if I could ask, you seem by all accounts to be a pretty high energy guy. Robert is obviously, as we know, that's kind of his calling card. Can you talk a little bit about how you guys kind of will meld together that way and how maybe combustible that defensive room might be with the two of you guys?
Yeah, hopefully it's a relationship. We just feed off each other and just bring it every day. He's a head coach now, but obviously he's going to be extremely involved with the defense, so whether it be in the classroom, whether it be behind the scenes, he's going to be a part of everything that we do. And I love his energy, always have, and what he stands for and the way he's carried himself and the way he connects with the players and teaches the players and motivates the players. So I'm going to feed off it as much as the players will, but it's a great relationship in my opinion.
How important is the Carl Lawson position in your defensive scheme, on the edge, and also how does he fill it? And I'm assuming he hasn't been here, so I'm wondering if that is slowing his development at all, having not participated in these practices.
Yeah, I mean, this is a guy that's like, he's sending our defensive line coach video every day as far as feedback, and so he is a worker. He is just a natural worker, wants to be great at what he does. He's an absolute technician. To speak to the importance of the position, it's huge. You look at San Francisco, they went from, top 10 to top 3, top 2, top 1 when they added Nick Bosa, and when they added D Ford. When they finally got speed element outside to complement what they had on the inside, it just went to another place. We can create a hitch in the quarterback by what we do. The double hitch, because we don't have a whole lot, doesn't happen a whole often. So having a speed element that can make a quarterback pay when he does hitch is it's essential. So he's going to be a huge part of our success.
Jeff, just following up on that question, Carl Lawson had about 32 quarterback hits, had a lot of pressures last year. Didn't have a lot of sacks, but how much of a jump in the sacks department do you think he can take being in this scheme?
Yeah, I think part of it's the scheme. I think part of it's the guys that he's playing with. This is not to speak about anybody in Cincinnati because I don't know what their situation was inside, but a lot of times edge rushers, they miss because quarterbacks can step up into the pocket. In my opinion, the combination of Quinnen and Foley and Sheldon Rankins and Shep and Tanzel, we have so many interior guys. I don't know how much of a pocket there will be to step up into. So from that standpoint, I think he could definitely have an increase in sack total. He's a fun guy to talk to, though. Like I know that you guys probably had a preliminary experience with him in his opening press conference with you, but obsessed with the game, obsessed with the technique, and he wants to become the most technical pass rusher in the league, and he works his butt off to do that. So I can't wait to get him in the building. He's going to have, I think, a tremendous influence on the other guys when they see just the work ethic.
We'll take a couple more for Coach.
What do you think of Quinnen Williams' game, and what is the next step for him, and how exciting is it to be able to work with him as a defensive coordinator? Yeah,
like he is, when you talk about three techniques within this system, I think he checks every box, and then finally let this guy just jump out his shoes and just be aggressive and attack. He's going to get to do that in this defense all the time. And for a guy that with the explosiveness that he has and the strength and the length and all the stuff that he's got, to me, he's the ideal three technique. So I'm very excited to see him just unhinge and gets to do what he's been born to do. Like he's got all the stuff you can't coach. So very excited about Quinnen.
Jeff, Jarrad Davis, you guys brought him in. He says this is a better scheme fit for him. What have you seen from him so far that has allowed you to also think that Jarrad Davis should be a good scheme fit?
Yeah, he's a guy that going back to when I was in Atlanta and he came out, absolutely loved the makeup of the guy and loved the player. Always was super hungry to get him within this system, put him on repeat, let him just master some techniques, let his speed and his run and hit just go. And that's all starting to show up. You could see like his time, for whatever the case may be in the league so far, was not what he expected the NFL to be. And it feels like we're breathing like new life into him. And he's just improving every day. And you're starting to hear his voice out there too, starting to push these guys and starting to command. And in today's NFL, I don't know if you can find a better tandem as far as people of him and CJ inside. I think what they'll be able to do as far as the culture is concerned is going to be off the charts. So, always has been excited about the player that he could be in this system, and very excited about finally having that opportunity to work with him.
Jeff, I just had a question about the other side of the ball. With a rookie quarterback, you're going to be the one kind of introducing him to the NFL defenses, now and in August until game time. What's your philosophy there? You throw the kitchen sink at the kid and just test him? I'm sure you're having conversations with Robert about this as well. Or do you kind of, try to set him up for some success sometimes? How do you approach that aspect of it?
Yeah, I have Mike in my ear every day asking for different things, and I get it, and we all get it because his success is all of our success. Defensively, though, it goes back to, the foundation of what we want to be. And that's based upon fundamentals and technique. And I'm going to keep saying these things because it's what I believe in. I think it's what Coach Saul believes in. It's what we want to create here. So we'll never have the full kitchen sink. And, but at the same time, I think we have enough variety to really help him develop. He'll be able to see the 6 and the 3 and the man, and he'll see enough stuff where he'll get a good feel for what an NFL defense looks like and feels like, and we'll have enough rush where he'll have to navigate a pocket. But that is definitely part of how we structure practice. It's definitely a part of how we create our install plans. we have to help him develop and be part of that process. So it's definitely it's part of the conversation at all times. It's an important one. It's a good question.
Jeff, what's the
last question here?
Jeff, what's the competition been at the other? You have Carl Lawson on the other end, left side of the end, or the end. What's the competition been like with the other side?
You got JFM, you got Vinny Curry, you got Ronnie Blair now, you got Huff, Zuniga's come out here. You got the rookie in Hamilcar. It's a good competition. They're all hungry. They're all working their butts off. Huff's a guy that's flashed a little bit, and he's earned himself some more reps. I'm excited about what he potentially could become. Ronnie Blair is just do it all for you. I think Coach Saul said it best when he said, if you like winning, you like Ronnie Blair, because he's just versatile and he's such a student of the game, and he's such a great example as far as the work ethic and the toughness that he brings. Vinny Curry is why you coach football. So it's Zuniga, he finally got a chance, an opportunity to get out there today for the first time, and he looked good. So I'm excited about that group shaking out. They'll all push each other. Who lines up opposite Carl is yet to be seen, but you'll have a good player opposite of just seeing that group as it is right now.